Before I continue, I emphasize our customer Farouk of Uganda's idea. Success is through strategy. Success is through what? Strategy. So we are going to see the problem faced by freed slaves in Sierra Leone during the 18th and 19th century when the colony was established for formerly enslaved Africans. We believe by this time that the freed slaves had the problem of language barrier. Many spoke English or Creole, while local Africans spoke indigenous languages like Temune and Mende. You hear this? We are saying language barrier. Many spoke English, but at this time, many local Africans spoke indigenous languages like Temune and Mende. So it is this that makes us believe that these people had a problem of the language. Then cultural disunity. The freed slaves came from diverse backgrounds. African, Americans, Jamaicans, liberated Africans. So this made it difficult to form a cohesive community because they had what you call cultural disunity. It was not easy to form a cohesive community. Then a conflict with indigenous people. It is said tension often arose between the settlers and the native populations. We believe by this time that these people had a conflict with the indigenous people they found there, and this was a problem. Then loss of traditional identity. Many freed slaves had lost knowledge of their ethnic origins and customs due to enslavement. So this was also a challenge. We are saying lack of enough resources. We are saying that freed slaves arrived with little and they did not have enough resources. It is this that disturbed their work. Then unfamiliarity with the local farming methods. We are saying today, many were not used to African agricultural conditions, leading to poor harvest, Another one, dependence on the British. We believe by this time that the freed slaves had a problem because they depended on the what? On the British. Then limited employment opportunities. We believe by this time the economic activities were at a very small scale. And this made it to it that many people did not have jobs. Then unfair trade practices. The British merchants often controlled the trade, exploiting settlers and limiting their economic growth. Unfair trade practices was one of the problems. Then colonial control. Despite being a settlement for freed people, the colony was tightly controlled by the British authorities. We believe by this time that the British were still controlling them to some extent, and this was a problem faced by the freed slaves. They wanted to be free, but the British were still controlling them. Then lack of political representation. Freed slaves had little say in how the colony was governed. They had little say in how the colony was what? Governed. And this was also a problem. Discriminatory laws. The colonial legal system often favored the British officials and merchants over the settlers. And this was a problem faced by the freed slaves. Then forced labor. We believe some freed Africans were coerced into working for the colonial government under poor conditions. And this also acted as a problem to the freed slaves. Then unfamiliar climate. They were not used to climate. They were not used to what? To climate. They came from temperate climates and struggled to adapt to Sierra Leone's tropical conditions. And this was also what? A problem. Limited access to education. We believe by this time, these people had limited access to what? To education. So this was faced by the freed what? Slaves. So we believe the freed slaves, their settlement in Sierra Leone was not just easy, my friend. They faced problems here and there. So you need to understand the problems faced by the freed slaves in Sierra